My little sister Genevieve and I always wished we had an older brother. We never got one, but our cousin Caleb fits the bill on that dream. When we were little, we all used to meet on grandfather's farm in Elysian Fields, Texas, and spent weekends there riding horses, feeding cows, driving four-wheelers, drinking Slurpees together at Doug's General Store, the only store within a 30-mile radius of grandfather's farm. Genevieve, Caleb, and me would always spend good time together there. Those were the good old days. I've replayed these moments in my head forever, realizing the inevitable epiphany that life is so fleeting. I can see this verse in my head this very minute, James 4:14. You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a while and then vanishes. Caleb, 22 and so full of life. One weekend, Caleb and his other cousin Cameron were going to be in a wedding and drove off to get their tuxes and lost control of an unpaved country road. Both of them were killed instantly. I will never forget. I was outside taking my dog out when I heard my mom yell in pain. I opened the sliding glass door to our house to come inside and find out what was wrong. My mom told me and my sister the forever life-changing news. We just fell to the floor there in shock. For a long time, my sister, mom, and me crying. I couldn't believe it. It seemed so unreal. We flew to Dallas for Caleb's funeral the next week, reuniting with the family. I can't even count how many people were there at his funeral. He was going to be a senior in college and would have graduated this past spring. Ever since that day, Caleb's legacy has been so imprinted in my heart. His walk on earth was so pure in spirit. His whole life was about Jesus, and Caleb looked to God above all things. My Uncle Eddie told me a story about his girlfriend. When they would go on dates, Caleb asked his dad, my Uncle Eddie, to call him at a certain time during the evening if he wasn't back at home yet and if it was late, because he wanted to be held accountable so he wouldn't be tempted and would remain sexually pure. Caleb played saxophone for marching band in high school, and every year the musicians had to re-audition to get back on the team. There were anonymous judges judging the musicians behind a curtain during auditions, but they all knew Caleb was auditioning because he would murmur a prayer under his breath for a while before playing. Wise beyond his years and courageous, Caleb served the Lord his 22 years of life, impacting so many people. He was in the world, but sure not of it. That's the way I always want to be. The life we are given is so impermanent and wavering. At his funeral, so many people gave their life to Christ after realizing what made Caleb so special.
I choose to build my foundation on the rock known as Jesus Christ.